Well, yeah, I mean, I figured, you know, the thing with doing anything like this is there's always, especially I've learned with like Twitch people and stuff, there's always shit that comes up.
Always.
And that's the name of the game. That's why usually, you know, you have people that are schedulers as opposed to trying to do it all yourself. Because
I couldn't imagine trying to put together like constant like 8 to 10 people.
Yeah, I tried at first to do it on my own, and it was not jiving. It was not jiving at all. Like I didn't have the time, you know. I got through the first one, and the first one was fucking really good, and then it was like, shit, you know. Number one, how do I follow this up? And number two, when do I have the time to like find people and account for the fact that there's going to be a possibility that people aren't going to be able to make it for whatever reason they have, you know, life stuff, you know. So yeah, I don't understand how people do it without a booker. I know there are people that do. The only thing I can think is they've got a lot of extra time on their hands. But yeah,
they're just one of those people that only needs like 4 hours of sleep a night and they're fine.
Right.
They're just thriving.
I'm
like,
not one of those people.
No, not at all.
Anymore, at least.
I'm definitely not thriving when I get that little sleep. I can do it, but I fucking hate it.
Borderline functioning.
Yeah.
Well, we were waiting for somebody online. I don't know what happened with them, if they had some technical issues or what, but maybe they'll pop in a little bit. That's fine. Anyways, I'm gonna start off like I always start off and let you guys just go around the room and introduce yourselves. We'll start with Leonard, and then we'll go Leonard, Magnus, and then you know, one of the channel favorites here, Talorx, and rock it out like that.
One of my favorite channels. Happy to be here. Let's go.
Yeah.
So,
Leonard. My name is Leonard, LNRDI on Twitch. I am a stoner. I'm 29 years old. I'm graduating from college this year, finishing my degree in the fall in psychology. I play games, and sometimes I react to stuff, and sometimes I debate people about politics. But for the most part, I just like chilling.
Cool. Any particular strain or type of weed when you're smoking you like?
When I can get it, I really like to get just like any strong indica that I can get my hands on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hybrids are pretty nice too, but I prefer the weed to really like hit me in the face and make me want to sit on the couch.
Based.
Nice. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Any
All right.
Is there like an indica that you really like or that you seek out? Like when if you can find it, is there one where you're like, damn, that one, that's the one that just fucking slaps? Like
there was this strain at a dispensary that I used to shop at when I lived in Massachusetts called Lavender that was really, really good.
Okay.
Yeah, it was super strong. It was like 29 or 30% or something like that. And it was really pretty.
The bud percentages are getting ridiculous.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
they really are.
it's super high.
Even higher numbers. Boost them. Boost
35%, 40. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm good for it.
300%.
But yeah, Leonard, I've had some of that lavender, and the only other thing that I've found it comparable to as far as like putting me on my ass is a shit called Blackwater, which I think the name pretty well says it all.
Yeah.
Same type of shit though, and it's like these dark, dank buds, and yeah, they just you're fucking floored. But yeah, if I want to get smacked in the face, yeah, I'd definitely like some lavender. Lavender is good. All right, Magnus.
All right, hey everyone. My name's Magnus Xavier. I stream on Twitch, obviously under that name. I stream politics and games. I'm pretty much open to any sort of recommendation, whether it be React or games. Obviously, with games, depends on the price. I'm not gonna just buy some brand new shit just because you're like, this is great. I promise, you need to play it. So I also like playing, buy it. I like niche games, and yeah, I also stream politics on a pretty consistent basis.
Rock and roll. Any favorite strains? Any favorite types of strains? Any favorite dabs?
I hate to say it because I do like flavor in a strain, but as far as effect, Gorilla Glue 4 has always been a solid one for me. You know, I've stuck with it. Like, it's not the best flavor, especially when you get some decent mid-tier bud, but I'm like, if I really know what I need, then it's probably going to be Gorilla Glue 4.
Oh, hell yeah. No, like, I've always liked Gorilla Glue 4. The only problem is I will eat all the cereal in my fucking house. That is the one thing. It makes me fucking eat everything. I mad munchies.
I could see that for sure. It definitely chills me out a lot. And I'm just like, what kind of snacks we got going on here?
Yep.
Let's peruse.
Or do you do the stoned chef thing where you just like start like mixing shit together and you're like, what can I make today? You know?
I do want to start like super getting into cooking because I mean honestly, flavor is like you need to season your life, or else eating bland food all the time, like I can't consistently do it. I do, but like it's a choice to just be like prepared more to like make actual dishes, which would be dope, especially if they're infused, like a can of butter.
Yeah, I kept saying if I ever get to 200 followers, or 200 subscribers, I'll do a full cannabis meal stream where I cook a full cannabis infused meal.
Ooh, how many courses are you thinking?
What's that? Courses?
I've seen people do multiple courses, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, because I want to do like, I mean, I could do a salad really easy because you can infuse a dressing, so that's easy.
Yeah.
You can even use sugar leaves in the salad if you want. Like, they do take on a pretty decent flavor if you clean them and everything. They're not as gritty. So you could do like, definitely have your salad course. And I like chicken wings, so I do an appetizer of some chicken wings and infuse the chicken wings. You know,
work.
Some great picks.
Yeah, then you got to do the main course. I've really been liking. I cook a lot of tri-tip. I really like tri-tip. I think it's a really good cut of meat. So I'll cook some tri-tip. It's
always been solid.
Yeah, and just infuse a tri-tip. Maybe like do like a butter encasement where I do like weed butter, and then I melt it down. I'll pour it all over the beef, and then let it set to where it's hard, and then go and take the beef and then cook it on the grill like that. That would infuse a lot of the beef with it. Be really tasty. And then you could make like a little light gravy or something to go with it and put it on there, and then you're possibly as high as you've ever been. Yeah, and then for your vegetables, you just toss them in some weed-infused olive oil, maybe a little rosemary and weed-infused olive oil for flavor. Throw that together, You got your veggies cooking in that, maybe some squash and some zucchini, a little bit of onions. If you're into mushrooms, maybe throw some mushrooms in there. If you're into magic mushrooms, maybe throw some magic mushrooms in there.
Now we're cooking. That's the only
We're really cooking.
It's a big brain shit, baby.
Yeah. And then you do your dessert and call it good. Your dessert could be like anything. You could do fucking badass, like I would maybe do something like more casual, like a pizookie with like a bunch of ice cream all over the top of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain that to me. I don't know what that is.
So a pizookie,
it's a cookie pizza.
Yeah, it's a cookie size. It's a pizza size cookie, like usually chocolate chip.
Hell yeah.
And then just
that sounds sick.
Put a bunch of ice cream on it. Yeah, and chocolate syrup and caramel syrup all over the top of it. And there you go. Boom. That's it. That's your weed dinner.
I think a waffle would be really good too that way.
Oh hell yes!
Like a weed infused waffle. Make the batter that way.
What if you could do like a cookies and cream flavored waffle?
There's so many options.
I bet you could.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. And I've totally let this go off the rails and didn't let Talorx have a chance to introduce himself.
Oh, good. I'm fucking Talorx. I do lefty shit, but I mainly focus on cults, high control groups, different things like that, woo and magical thinking and how it affects you, everyone around us, and how it bleeds into things like politics. I also smoke a lot of fucking herbal substances on stream. So we like to have a good time. It's fucking fun, and we chit and chat about pretty much everything, but mainly cults and high control groups.
Hell yeah.
TALORX. Yeah, that's all.
And you're at TALORXLIVE on Twitch.
TALORXLIVE. Yeah, twitch.tv/TALORXLIve. TALORX.
All right. I got the intros out of the way. And TALORX, if I remember right, you're a hybrid guy, right? You like the hybrids?
Yeah. Yes, because I'm not a huge fan of couch lock, okay? Like, don't get me wrong, couch lock can be a good time, but like if I'm doing it, like I'm couch locking with edibles where I'm taking an ungodly amount and I'm never moving. Like that's my, like I'm either straight out or yeah, so like I like that, like a little bit of that kind of hoofy feeling in the chest, but I also like that brain head shit. My favorite strain, I have a few favorite strains, but probably White Widow is probably one of my favorite strains. More sativa dominant hybrid. That shit gets me fucking going. At this point, like I mainly smoke dabs. I said this last StonerCast. Like I feel like when it comes to like flower and shit, like the strain and shit is more like a the more intricate-y love of the individual strain versus dabs. I don't feel that as much, but I do actually have some White Widow dabs here that I was saving for this. So we're gonna fucking bang fuck that today, and it's gonna be a good time. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorite strains.
Nice. Yeah, like so for me, if you guys know, like I do sativas because I'm a lethargic ass motherfucker. Like I legit had somebody tell me, I've had more than one person tell me that I'm a sloth, you know. So I started running with it, you know, and I realized like if I smoke like anything that's short of like a sativa dominant hybrid, I'm done for. Like that's it. Nothing is happening. Nothing. Like I'll think about doing things. I'll have like really deep thoughts and shit, and like kind of like go to sleep and wake up and be like all into my head and shit, and then go back to sleep again. But like I will get nothing done. Like there's nothing that's gonna happen with me. I will be out cold. But yeah, there are some hybrids that that said, there are some hybrids I like that lean indica, and there's definitely some indicas I like. I just have to know, like, I'm not doing anything that day. Like, I will still fuck with Granddaddy Perp. I will always fuck with Granddaddy Perp. That shit is fucking delicious. That shit's always been delicious. And if it's grown right, damn, dude. Some of the tastiest ass weed. But yes, that shit will put you on your fucking ass. Absolutely. Yeah. And I love that. So somebody in chat was asking, they're saying I should make a PDF of some type of post in Discord of beginner strains for cannabis beginners to try.
Ooh. That's an interesting concept because I think that is interesting just in the very idea and the very nature, because I think there's a conversation to be had around, is there a beginner strain? Yeah, there are some strains that are like, yo dog, like chill your nips. You know, or even just the concept of taking dabs, like chill out, bro. Like, yeah, like hit some hoots before. But also, I think like what's something that's super important to understand, like that I've had a lot of experience, because I'm bad at it. Like I'm the green out king. Like I will fucking murder you unintentionally your first time smoking. Don't smoke with me first time. But like I find that often it's the size of the hoot or the means of getting it into them that is like where people need to learn to chill the fuck out first.
Some guidance.
Yeah, just because it won't kill you doesn't mean you're gonna have a great time. You know what I mean? Like if you're going balls out, like I had a homie who had never smoked weed. He was like, you know what, dude? Like if I had an edible, because it's legal and I know it won't kill me, I would eat an edible. You know, no problem. So I got this 100 milligram edible. I cut it up into 4 pieces.
Bye.
4 pieces. You know, thinking, okay, well, you'll just eat like 125 milligram piece and be good. I said, this is 100 milligrams of weed right here. Okay, like you're gonna get fucking high. All you need is one of these corners. And he's like, okay. Somebody online said they're working out some stuff on the home front, but they're gonna try to make it in. So we will stand by and see if they're able to join. So that's okay. So cool. But what I was gonna say now is, I told him, I was like, hey, so you don't need to eat all these. Eat one piece and seriously sit on it. Wait like an hour and a half before you even think about eating another piece, right?
You can always do more, but you can't do less.
Yep. And you know what? Like I said, I was stupid and I left him there. And this is one of those dudes that has no impulse control. And I fucking went to grab a beer, come back, they're all fucking gone. They're all gone. And I was like, what did you do, bro? Because he was like wanting to like eat a little bit, then like try to go out, you know, or whatever. And like, you can do that on like a small amount, you know, but like he went all out, dude. Like I'm sitting there like drinking my beer. I'm like, you're going to be so fucked up, man. You're going to be so fucked up. And he's like, oh, fuck that. I'll just get drunk too. It'll like regulate it. And I'm like, oh no, don't do that.
Not blow, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, don't do that. Dude, he does like 4 shots of tequila right in a row, slams like 2 fucking Coors Lights, which I'm like, your second mistake was drinking Coors Light. But you know,
yeah,
he slams like 2 Coors Lights after that. And I'm like waiting. I'm just waiting. I'm like waiting. About 45 minutes goes by. He's fucking laying on his couch, like with like his upper body on the couch, like arched onto the couch with like his ass up in the air and his legs just like hanging out there. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, bro, I'm fucked up. And I was like, yeah, I know you're fucked up.
Yeah, you silly fuck.
I was like, you ready
yeah,
to go?
I can tell.
I told him,
I told you.
I told him, I said, you ready to go to the bar? Let's go to the bar, dude. You ready? I started like patting him on the back and stuff, you know, like, come on. And he's like,
We can
bro, I ain't going nowhere. And he's just sitting there like staring at the ceiling like, he's like, what did you do to me? I said, you ate 100 milligrams of weed the first time you ever ate fucking weed, dude. What did you think was going to happen? Dude, he got so sick because he drank enough alcohol to get him pretty well fucking schnockered. He was drinking even before I got there. So by the time that like all that hit him, dude, he was throwing up. He was having a bad fucking day. And I was like, oh God, dude. So lesson learned. Yes, you can always
It will not
more.
level out.
Yeah.
It will not level out either.
No. Well, and people
Getting
often
crossfaded.
think that edibles are more innocent, finger quotes, or less crazy because you're not smoking them. Dog, don't fuck around with edibles. Like, edibles are like way more, in my opinion and my personal experience, way more unpredictable, way more likely to result in you having a fucking nar time on edibles than like smoking. You know, like smoking, you can tend to control it. But I think the issue with like new smokers and stuff, especially if they're smoking with people like us who smoke quite a bit, they see people like us taking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 23 fucking bong rip / dabs in a sesh, and they're like, oh yeah, a bong rip, I can do that thing.
Yeah.
Do the thing for me. And then you light it, and it's just like, dog, like, they're like, out of safety for you, like, you probably shouldn't do that. Like, work your way up. And I think that's an important thing, regardless of the strain of weed you have, is to understand that, like, that's a dangerous dance you're playing there if you're trying to mimic others, you know, and their amounts to smoke.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, a thing to point out with edibles is that it's like, you say 100 milligrams, right? And coming off the street, if you know nothing about weed, you're just like, that's nothing. Yeah, like milligrams, that's small. And it's pretty much like pure THC, though.
Yeah,
that's
exactly
the way to think about it.
Well, I mean, I remember when I was younger, I mean, obviously weed was very illegal. Like, I mean, I had an undesignated felony. I still have an undesignated felony on my record, technically. Arizona is going to let me expunge it now, but yeah, I mean, I have a felony for fucking weed, you know? Like, but I remember having like the thing was, if you could get a hold of some brownies, you know, or some fucking edibles, it was like, that's when you were going to have the trippiest fucking high. Like, everybody always told me, that was always the thing. Like, oh man, you found a kitchen where you could like fucking bake some weed? I bet you got fucked up. That was always the thing. And now all these new heads or people trying to get into it are like, yeah, I'll just eat some weed. And it's like, oh, dog, that was like the last step for us. That was like like the final thing, you know?
Totally evolved, you know? Like, oh, you got to be a Charmander before you can be a goddamn Charizard, let alone a Mega Charizard. You need to fucking take the steps, bro.
I'm going to take just a second to let FBombs4You introduce themselves. They came in on the fly to help us out. They knew we were a guest short. And so FBombs4You, go ahead and tell us, you know, just about what you do, your stream, where to find you, and then if you have one, your favorite type of strain or your favorite strain, favorite way to consume the lovely cannabis.
The lovely cannabis. FBombs4You stands for facts based on my brain. I stream business stuff on Wednesdays, January 6th stuff on Sundays, random stuff on other days. You can find me at that link that just went in your chat. And same thing on Twitter, except the letter U instead of the word U. And favorite strains, Bordello, Lilac Diesel, and Super Northern Haze.
Ooh, you came in with some specifics. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I got to cheat. It wasn't real fair. It's like I was listening in the green room to the answers. So, like, that's really not fair.
Prep time.
Hey, that's all right. You know, the one thing about this show is I get to ask everybody what their favorite strains are, but nobody asks me what my favorite strains are.
Fair.
I've learned Granddaddy Perp.
For an indica.
That's a favorite for indica.
Definitely.
I don't really mess with the indica versus sativa or the percentages anymore. I've found so many strains that get me higher at 17% than 30%.
Well, one strain that I've always been a really big fan of is Green Crack, and it never tests extremely high for THC content. However,
that's a favorite.
That shit will fuck you up, and I love it.
And that's super important. And I do think that, and once again, kind of back to the overall kind of like what are beginner strains and those types of things. Well, like, what does that mean? Like, you know, like different strains affect people differently, and there are some strains.
This is where you begin. Just begin here.
Yeah, just begin with the bud.
Greens.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No. Start with a glass jar, and whatever goes in it will be good.
Yeah.
Fair. It'll be good enough, especially if you're a new smoker. But like, there's something to be said for fucking like quality of grow and shit like that too. Sure. You know, like one green crack could be different from another green crack in like its quality, and like if you know like the shit was given enough time to properly cure, and if it was grown properly, like the trichomes are all fucked and shit, and you know, like there's differing levels. So that's why I think it's really important to focus on ensuring that the first times you smoke, that you're not fucking like ODing and terrifying yourself for the rest of your life and being like, oh no, now I'm afraid of weed because it makes me paranoid or green out or whatever because you just smoke too much. Fuck.
And
don't start with dabs and don't start with edibles.
Yeah, and I will say, even the pens, like the vape pens, some people start with that and think, again, you know, that's going to be the milder version. You're smoking like 98% pure THC most of the time in those pens. That's like the dumbest thing you could do. Like, you're going to get fucked up, you know? Just get some flour. And if you want starter strains, I'll tell you two of my favorite starter strains that I think everybody can kind of like gauge off of is Blue Dream and Girl Scout cookies. Easy ones to kind of gauge where they're going to go, you know, from there. Like, because both of them can be potent, and if they're a good grow, they're pretty consistent as far as the flavor goes, as far as the effects go. But yeah, I think if I was gonna name strains to like start with, those would be two that I go to. I think I wouldn't send somebody to Green Crack because I think some people get really fucking manic from that shit, or have anxiety.
Oh yeah.
Strong.
I guess there are some strains I would tell new people not to smoke.
Yes,
Like
there are ones to stay away from.
that GG4 that you mentioned earlier, that is
Really
so
good.
gassy that like that's probably not where to start.
Or like some like legit Pineapple Express or some shit.
Yeah.
Even a White Widow can
Yep.
do some
Yeah.
damage. You know?
Yeah.
Be careful.
You need some balance. And I was gonna say, I went to a weed convention once, and a guy was trying to get funding for an app that would, like, in states or countries where there's dispensaries, they could have like the terpene files of
They already
the
have
bud.
it.
They
have
do.
it, by the way. Yeah.
It was
do
like
now.
a few years ago.
Yeah, they got it on Leafy, Weed Leaf, and
Leafy's not that good, low key. Like,
No,
it's not
I
that
feel
great
like
of
it's
a
gotten
resource.
worse.
I
It's
like
gotten worse.
I like Strainly
I've-
because Strainly is actually like talks about grow time, talks about
Okay.
like how much flower, you know, what you're gonna get as far as like flowering and stuff like that.
Like a yield.
Yeah, it definitely goes in a little bit more in depth. Like I think no pun intended, but they do tend to get into the weeds a little bit.
Oh, pun was 1000% intended.
this guy.
Fucking go. But like back to kind of what you were saying about motherfuckers thinking like a vape pen is like a better chiller option. Perfect example. Literally yesterday, I was at this fucking wedding, right? And I'm a goddamn stoner. I smoke weed. That's all I do. I do not drink liquor. Everyone here is drunk as fuck. Nobody's smoking weed except I knew the DJ. He's from my
Hey,
hometown.
William
I'm like, yo,
Lawrence,
dog,
good to see you.
you want to smoke some fucking? Can you take a break? You want to smoke some hoots? He's like, hell yeah, dog. Word. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go grab from my car. I come back, and I'm like, all right, yo, you ready to go? He's like, yeah, well, like, what are you smoking out of? I'm like, yo, I just rolled up some joints because that's what I do when I go to hang out with like my friends who don't smoke much. I roll up joints of flour instead of bringing
Right.
dabs and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's chill.
Exactly.
My dude literally says to me, joints are like one of the chillest things you can smoke. You can take one puff and
Yep.
barely inhale the fuck out of that thing, or not even inhale it, and then give it back and not fucking take another puff.
Yeah.
He says, yo, dude, that shit's too hardcore for me. I can't do that. But like, I don't know, like maybe I have like a dab pen in my fucking thing. And he's looking for like, he's like fucking looking for like a fucking dab, like one of those cartridge things. I'm like, dog, what the fuck is this? And he's like, oh no, I don't have one. I'm like, all right, word, I'll go smoke it. So I go and cheap the fucking dude myself. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, you don't
joint's
want
too
the dab
hardcore.
pen. You don't want the
Yeah.
dab
No.
pen. You know,
I wanted
like
the dab pen, but the joint's too hardcore. I didn't understand. I was
No,
just
I
like,
don't
man,
understand.
How does that
We-
fucking work? I don't know.
I got some friends that own a thing called a smoking bus that they like converted a they converted a bus into like a smoking lounge, and Young
That's sick.
came on as like this promo thing, and he took one dab, never taken a dab before, and like couldn't do the interview, just walked right off the bus. He's like, I gotta go sit down.
Don't fuck with dabs if you're not ready for dabs.
so.
Like, that's not
Like,
even a joke.
so like every once in a while, like when I first started dabbing, I was still in my band at the time, and my guitarist was fucking he's still one of the funniest dudes I've ever met. But he like take a really big dab, and you could just see it on his face. He'd start sweating and shit, and then he'd just like look up at me. He'd go over and he'd sit down in the same fucking chair. We had this little like plastic fucking yard chair. He'd go sit in
Yeah.
that chair, and he'd put his hands on his head and he'd go, I gotta think about my life for a minute. And he'd just like sit there and like it'd be like, whoo.
Fuck. Sometimes, and like that's how I judge like my favorite strains at this point in my smoking life. Because like, let's be real here. I have a box right here of like this whole box is just full of different dab packages. At this point, like it doesn't even like what is a fucking strain? What does
Yeah.
it mean anymore? What does it mean? These are all different
Yeah.
fucking strains. What I judge it on is how many of those make me question my atheism. Like how many of those do you fucking take a hoot and you're like, What is life? What is love? God? Is he killing me right now? Where am I? What am I? And then you come back to it, and you're like, that is a good fucking strain.
That's right.
I remember that name.
I agree with you on that one.
But yeah, there's too many fucking strains to count at that point.
But I do have to say, like, there is no way that I could feasibly sit around and smoke indica dabs. I wouldn't survive, dude. I would never fucking survive. Like,
almost all my dabs were indica that I smoked.
I couldn't do it. I would be out fucking cold. I'd be sitting here on stream. I'd be laid out, and you guys would be talking to each other. You know,
60%.
You'd be like, "Is he awake behind those glasses?"
Indica, 70% indica, 90% indica. They're all indicas.
That's surprising.
Is like motherfucker. Like the only one
I'm
I have
at
that
least
was
a hybrid.
is this.
Wow.
Was
I would not guess that.
Smoking that fucking dank indicas.
Smoke weed every day.
I prefer sativas, but I buy them in like bulk and I get what Buddy gives me. And like 90% of the time they're indicas, so I just chuff the indicas and
Call it a day. It's fine.
fucking yeah.
I kind of agree with your point that after a certain while, strains are strains.
It's just
And then-
taste.
Yeah,
Neither of you believe in tasting your dab, so you could
That's
just
true. We
do
just
whatever you
roast
want.
their shit.
You gotta waste it to taste it, and I'm not wasteful, okay?
That is true, because you guys smoking on a lower temp.
Yeah, and then it just smokes it all out for the next 37 minutes, and you're just like, fuck, and you try to like huff over it, but it's all gone, and you know it's a
Yeah.
lost cause.
Yeah, you end up just smoking the reclaim that's left in the banger or whatever, and it's not tasty.
Get a
Just
reverse
isn't.
trailer park, boys, get a 2-liter and just suck the top up, and maybe it'll suck in like a chimney.
There's
If
only
you see
been
me get up
one.
and run, if you see me get up and run, it is game 7 right now. So this is the love I have for you guys. It is game 7, third period, and I'm in here.
Who are you watching?
The Penguin
NBA
game.
semifinal. Oh, and NHL.
Oh, NHL?
I'm a big hockey fan.
Oh.
I'm Canadian.
Oh, I thought you were
and
talking
couldn't
about
give
the
a fuck about
basketball
hockey,
finals
I'm
are going
sorry.
on right now, too. Oh, sorry. Talorx is a big NHL fan, and I was thinking he was talking about basketball because the finals are going on for basketball right now, too.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about.
I actually...
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No,
I was
go
just
ahead.
going to say that every year I have to go in front of a court and justify why they shouldn't send me out of Canada because I don't like hockey. So I have to go in front of a court and justify them keeping me in this country.
They're trying to expel you.
So far, I'm okay, but I got my next meeting on June 26th. So,
An annual review.
yeah, I don't know what
We'll
I've
take
added to
TALORX.
this country this year. Yeah, fuck yeah.
We need more
They'll boot
lefties
me.
in Arizona. Come this way.
Oh, fuck. I will be there.
Weather's nice.
Oh,
We talked about Kelly Ward this morning a little bit. Isn't she Arizona?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Kelly Ward has been a fucking thorn in the side of Arizona for many years, even before her national profile. She's always been a fucking walking train wreck.
Really?
She's fucking eviscerated our public school system. She has been nothing but fucking problems for this fucking state. Like, the only people that tend to like her are these old-ass fucking Republicans that come here to get the benefits of winter living in a sunshine state.
The snowbirds.
Yep. And that's it. And they don't want to pay more in property taxes, so they do all sorts of fucked up shit to not pay taxes or to otherwise like make sure that the bills that increase taxes for like schools and shit like are tanked. And the ones that we have gotten past, the governor has found ways to reallocate the funds to other pet projects of his, namely charter schools, which is fucking over the public school system royally here. But so
Yeah, and nationwide, which
Yeah.
is sad.
yeah, so I am, and Kelly Ward's been a big part of that push. I cannot stand that woman. I've met her on a couple occasions, not good meetings, in the midst of protests and shit.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I've gone out and because I was protesting SB 1070 when that shit happened here. You know, I was out in the streets when that happened. I was out in the streets when fucking George Bush came here for the RNC. You know, when he was getting nominated. That's how fucking old I am.
I gotta piss. I'll be back.
Okay, Bush.
But yeah, Kelly Ward's a fucking disaster piece, and she's been around forever fucking up things in Arizona. And the thing is a lot of Republicans don't even fucking like her. That's
Really?
the thing. Yeah, because she's too much. She's too fucking much. She says the quiet part out loud. You know, they all may think the same thing, but they don't say the quiet part out loud, you know? She says the quiet part out loud.
There's all these stories about Florida man, but is Arizona okay?
Arizona needs its own man too, because it's pretty close. It's pretty close.
Yeah, all your state reps are concerning.
I mean, Paul Gosar, Andy Biggs, they're all in fucking cahoots with Ali Alexander. I mean, what the fuck is going on? Kirsten Sinema won't vote with Democrats?
Yep.
You know, yeah. Tell me about it. Oh, it's fucking painful. I'm hoping Ruben Gallegos unseats her though, because it sounds like he's looking to do that. And Ruben Gallegos, he's a congressman from a district in Tucson, and he's fucking badass, dude. He's not quite as far to the left as I'd like to go, but he's pretty fucking far to the left. He's much further to the left than Sinema or Mark Kelly. So I would take him.
An upgrade.
My dad's got a buddy in Scottsdale, and fucking he's a big car guy and all that shit. Very wealthy man. He has a Hummer, fucking an H2 Hummer, and in the back window there's a big sticker with an AR-15, and it says "Defend Trump" on the whole back window.
Amazing.
And he gave me one of the stickers. I have it somewhere. I don't know where it is. Maybe I'll show it on the next one. Like, it is fucked. It's got an AR-15. Like, as the background, it says "Defend Trump" with like either sides of the gun on the other side. It's just like, bruh, like that's heat. I remember like seeing that and being like so like sussed out. And he's like, "Yeah, I got a whole bunch of these." He's like, "You want one?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, like of course I want one. Like, I'm not gonna
hand it over.
I'm not gonna put it on anything or anything, of course. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I want that. I love stickers. I collect stickers. But fucking, it was like this big, like maybe even bigger. It's on the back of a fucking Hummer window, you know, like the whole thing. And just like, fuck, like they're not all right, some people over there. But
let me tell you, like, that's the one thing you got here is it is Trump country. Like, when you talk about like driving down the freeway and seeing people with giant American flags and Confederate flags hanging off the back of their trucks, you do see that here. You do see the giant fucking "Don't Tread on Me" flags and Trump 2024, all that shit. Like, that's normal shit. Like, you go down the street from where I live, like, you'll see fucking tons of people with shit like that. It's
you want to
weird.
hear some crazy shit? I live in Saskatchewan, Canada, and you see Trump flags here. You see Confederate flags here in Canada.
All posers.
In Canada.
Poser.
There was a dude. He would always come to like my bank that I used to work at. Fucking, I'm no longer a banker. I've repented for my sins. Jesus and Marx have both forgiven me. Fucking, and he would have like a fucking, like, he had a Confederate flag thing around his license plate and a big, like, it said "Rebel" on his windshield, but it had like the Confederate flag with like the background.
Thank you for
like a Trump flag in
Tier
Canada.
1 sub for 6
They're like, we would
months.
rather
Thank you
he could
so
take
much.
over North America. He's taking Canada. Sorry,
That's
Trudeau.
'cause it's a
move to
white
the
pride
side.
symbol.
True.
It is.
Maybe we
Has
can
nothing
get
to do with
Bernie
politics.
elected. Maybe we can get Bernie elected as Prime Minister of Canada or some shit, right?
We'll just
Yeah.
flip it.
And then
That'd be sick.
like all the dope people can just move to Canada.
That would be sick. I'd be down for that.
And then-
But like, sorry.
No, because I was gonna say, and then we could just like move right across the border from all these, like some of the more conservative states. Like, what is there? Ohio, I think, doesn't Ohio border Canada and like North Dakota, you know?
Yeah.
And we'll just move into like border towns in those areas, and then cross over and like force some progressive, and then go back to Canada.
Oh, I like that idea.
All those northern states scare me.
Yeah.
Those Montanas, Dakotas, Idaho. They're all just full of people with guns and
Redoubt.
ready to not be replaced.
Redoubt's fucking freaky.
Man.
I don't fully understand that. I watched your stream on it, but I was like half in and out because I was at work. I don't fully understand the readout thing. But...
Basically, it is a mostly by choice white ethno state. In Idaho and the whatever that no murder zone is, I can't remember what they call it. But basically, it's like a lot of
to the no murder zone. Sounds great. Sounds
Well,
fantastic.
no.
Sounds like utopia.
No murder zones.
Like there's no law enforcement in this one little strip between Idaho and Washington.
It's like an autonomous zone.
Yeah, basically.
In
it's
northern
like a
Idaho,
purge.
I'm guessing.
It's like a purge.
So kind of what happened at like the Malheur federal building. You know about that?
No, which
I think it's called Malheur, Malheur, and basically the militia, the Ammon Bundys, went and occupied a federal building a few years ago, like 6 or 7 years ago.
2014.
Yeah, probably 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's one of the places
good.
Matt Shea was found.
Ah, Matt Shea.
Yeah, he's trouble. But basically, it's like a haven for white nationalism. And people that want to believe they're not white nationalists, but want to live amongst white evangelical Christians that vote Republican, and any Democratic upgrowth they need to squash because that's the real problem.
Okay.
Where is this?
I need to show this. I videotaped this, okay? Fucking look at this guy's truck. It's got Justin Trudeau with a chicken here. It's got like fucking gallows here to hang these fucking people.
Oh,
Fucking there's gallows on it. Look, and it says our freedom is essential, and it's got like this wolf fucking meme shit here, and another picture of the gallows.
Jesus.
It's wild.
Like
This is
threatening to, like,
intense.
murder fucking liberals. Our freedom is essential.
no bueno.
Look at that. And like there's more shit I'm sure on the other side too, like fucking, but like that's fucked.
Yeah,
That
that's
dude
no
is- Yeah, like fascism is alive and well in Canada.
Yeah, I don't. It's everywhere.
Like this was literally at a gas station. I pulled in on my lunch break to get gas. You see motherfuckers with like flags at the back of their car and shit like that, and things that you like, you know, Trump.
They're
shit.
like, this is my tank. I gotta decorate it. I gotta get some bumper stickers.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
exactly.
unbelievable.
Yeah. The PPC and shit like that are a very scary sign of things to come.
See,
In
that's
Canada
the
as
thing.
well.
We
Bleeding up,
Americans want to think, oh, Canada's so safe, but y'all got like Wexit and
Oh yeah.
Quebec nationalists that also want to segregate. Like, the more I learn about Canada, I'm like, it's not as peaceful as it might appear to Americans.
Yeah.
Granted, I mean, Canada is not the most, violent country in the world, but
Wait, you're saying Americans don't know much about other countries? This is the first I'm hearing of this.
hot take. Do Americans know about our own country?
I mean,
No.
fuck. Why
What
do
is a
we
country?
need? Why do we need world history? I mean,
I'm
who
just
the
trying to
fuck
drink
is
beer
in
and watch
the
sport
world?
ball.
Sport ball.
Yeah,
Sport ball.
all we're known for is fucking manufacturing sports ball players.
And consent.
Oh,
Well done.
True,
well
true.
done. Well done.
fair enough.
That was funny. That was
Oh
really funny.
man. So you're stoned, you have nothing to fucking do. You just ate like the fattest edible, and you're going to watch what?
Oh wow.
Watch my soul leave my body, because I am having one purpose and one purpose only when I'm eating edibles. To watch my soul leave my body and to be a useless dead lump.
I mean, I was gonna say some of those California edibles that are like maxing out at 500 milligrams. That's insane.
Are you
yeah, they
kidding?
like
We have
1,000.
1,500 ones here.
Yeah.
1,500 and 2,000 milligram
I've
ones
seen
in Arizona.
thousands.
So it's capped here at 100 milligrams per like unit that they sell. Obviously, like you could combine shit.
Legally
But
capped.
yeah, it's legally capped. I mean, you could make can of butter. They'll sell you can of butter.
Yeah. Fucking. But yeah, you can get some big dirty dick danglers if you find the right place. They are often capped at legal dispensaries. But if you
Yeah.
can find some gray area shit on the internet, which you most certainly can, you can find some big boys. Girls.
Some
that
just
actually
real intense shit. Thousands of milligrams.
Yeah. Fucking.
Okay,
So,
I don't think I
here's
could
a-
handle that.
Yes,
That's
I
what
think
I'm
the
saying.
last
Like
100
Here's a
500
500
milligram would be.
milligram. Yeah, Twinkie, 500 milligram Twinkie. $30. That Twinkie would send you straight to hell, and it would be absolutely amazing.
You're gonna wake up high for sure.
I love waking up high.
It is a good feeling. It's
Yes.
definitely interesting.
But yeah,
If-
$30 Canadian, so $1.50 American. That's pretty cheap.
You just said $1.50. What?
Yeah.
It's a classic Canadian "our money isn't worth anything" joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it would be
Well, maybe-
probably more like $23.
Maybe don't name it Looney.
There you go. Fucking loony makes sense. Toonie doesn't make sense.
Well, it's two loonies.
Yeah, which is silly because a loony's called a loony because the fucking coin has a loon on it. But there's not two loons on a $2 coin, and a $2 coin isn't just two loonies.
I need to visit Canada just to learn their currency because I don't know
No, you
shit
don't.
about Canadian currency.
You have the internet for
nothing
that.
to see.
Yeah, I like.
I've always wanted to go to
$1 bills.
Canada.
I like $1 bills. They're sick, but you guys need to drop your penny. We dropped the penny like 10 years ago, and everybody
You're
was
thriving.
like weirded out at the start, and
But
now
what
it's like,
about
oh my
stuff
god, I
that
go to the
costs-
States. I don't want your fucking penny.
Yeah,
What about
I've
stuff
been
that
throwing
costs
pennies out for
97
years.
cents? How do we pay for stuff that costs 97 cents?
Yeah, great question. So
It
if
is pretty
so,
weird.
Round it
let's-
off.
So let's say that you buy something there's two different ways that things happen: card or cash. If it's cash, it's $19.97. That's $20 exactly. If it's $19.94, it's $19.95. It like goes like rounds up or down by the 5.
Yeah.
Fucking if it's debit, that $19.97 is $19.97.
Okay.
Huh.
It charges you exactly,
So
but it won't shell out physical currency.
yes, so there's a
I
time
don't know.
where
This sounds like it's a way for the man to shaft me.
I love my pennies.
it
I
fucking
keep all my Abe Lincolns.
it goes up and down, and honestly, I don't care if you're shafting me a penny or two here. I don't need that goddamn bulk in my fucking pocket. Fuck off with your stupid pennies. But
It
just
costs
use
more to
debit
make a
and
penny.
Exactly, it's wasteful and stupid. Or just use debit or cash, and then debit or credit, and it's free. Or
Just
not
avoid
free.
it.
There's no roundup. But it also rounds down. So if you purposely strategically buy things so it always rounds down, you win.
Yeah, that is what my people would do. That is
You're
what
like
we would do.
scamming
We would-
the
We
system.
would chart everything out and buy it one at a time, because then we could save up to $1.
Hey, that's the way to do it. Work
We
the
would
system.
we'd spend $60 in our time to save that dollar.
Speaking of saving money, I always wish that in America we just paid for like any sort of drink we get that comes in like a plastic container. If we bring that plastic container back to the store, it will credit us for that.
You know, the
You
shit
guys
used to
have
happen,
bottle
right?
places where they pay you?
You know, we used to have bottle returns.
Yeah, some of them, but they're pretty specific about what you can turn in.
Or just,
Yeah, like near
just
me, you
reusable
can't
cups.
recycle glass.
We used to have the,
Shit.
But just
We used to
reusable
get-
cups so you can take back and have them refilled. Like Starbucks does that.
Now, I
That's
do
true.
that. Yeah, you keep at least one McDonald's cup so you can take it back to the McDonald's and refill that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save,
That's
save them the having to use up and throw plastic into the environment, and
In Saskatchewan here, we have a place called Sarcan, and you take back like anything
Sarcan
that's
of a cod?
recyclable. Absolutely. And it pays you like good money, dog. Like I save every bottle that I fucking have. I got like $200 worth of bottles right now. Like it's stupid fucking like you get good money and shit to return that, which is awesome.
You sound like Ricky.
Hell yeah, for sure. That's a Canadian thing, I guess. Taking back bottles.
I mean, if I were you, I would return them and just go get a shit ton of dabs.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do. It's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Name of the game,
surprised.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick. Returning bottles based.
Yeah.
I mean,
Help the
isn't it
environment.
in certain states you can get like 5 cents for like aluminum, or is that just a thing that's printed on the bottom of cans?
No, it's true. There are certain states that you get more money when you redeem the cans and bottles, but like somebody looked into the cost of shipping to do that, and it actually costs more to ship the cans and bottles to those locations than it does just to like recycle them where you're at and not make hardly anything.
Fucking.
Remember, we used to recycle, and they used to pay you by the weight. And in the dealership, they would drop like bolts into every so many cans, so that it would add all kinds of weight.
If you care, this is how it goes. 7 cents for tin cans. 10 cents up to 999 milliliters. 25 cents over a liter. Fucking 10 cents, 25 cents over a liter. 300 ml bottles, 10 cents, 20 cents, 40 cents. Like, these are the things that you can get money back for. And, like, these are, like, decent. This is decent money.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I would love a program like that. Like, we can't recycle glass in my town. And I'm like, are you kidding me? What are we doing?
Yeah, that is weird.
So, it's cool. But, sorry, I'll disconnect the screen here. But, yeah. Well,
Good job, Mike, on catching that
That's
bandit.
one thing that's at least
Thank you very much, Mike.
Yeah, you gotta look at the positives. Can't be like, shit, we're not perfect. What the fuck, humanity?
There you
But
go.
We figured out the governing thing and coexisting.
We are in trouble here. We're really in trouble. Like, I don't see a way that American democracy actually is going to make it.
It will if we all smoke weed.
I'm just gonna put my
I'll
faith
try.
in Nancy
I'll give it-
Pelosi. She's got it.
Yeah, I mean,
If we got Nancy
Make it-
Pelosi to
make it
smoke
where?
weed, the world would be a better place.
True.
Make it where?
where it doesn't even know where it's going. What do you mean?
No, it
make
definitely does
It's
not.
it's definitely not going to last. I mean, it's a question of how long, right?
We're watching the
I don't
fall
think
of the modern Roman Empire.
But, like, at what point do you consider something dead or dying when it comes to like, this point? Like, it's like I feel like America's been dying for a fucking minute, and it is taking like motherfuckers like us with it. Yes, Canada, we have our own issues, and we're not like super fucking, like 100% always affected by the U.S., but like we very
Plays
much
a
are.
big factor. Yeah.
The Trump presidency had a huge effect on Canadians.
On everybody, on the world.
On the world, for sure. So, like, the U.S. goes down, like, it changes a lot of things internationally, obviously, but, like...
That's why the U.S. needs to legalize cannabis across the country, because it would influence other countries in the world to do the same, and it would
How
normalize
many countries
it.
actually have done that already?
Like nationwide.
Yeah.
Well, like, I don't think that goes
probably
far
Chile.
enough.
Well, Mexico, Canada, I think Uruguay.
Portugal, probably.
Portugal,
I don't
every
know the
drug.
other one.
Amsterdam.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, Amsterdam.
So, Holland.
Base cake.
Yeah, but that's a city. I'm talking about, like,
That's true.
countries, like, legalized, like Canada.
Yeah. As a radical Dabbist myself, I believe in mandated marijuana. All citizens are forced to chill the fuck out.
Yeah, hey, cops, chill
and
the fuck
if
out.
they need to go to, like, like, they're never, like, used force or anything, but, we'll put them in the hot box room and chill everyone out.
When you turn
Mandated.
18, you
That's
gotta
a
have
great-
2 years of
Instead
service.
of a drunk tank for drunks, you have like a
hot
weed
box.
tank for dicks.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like a chamber, you know,
Yeah.
and you just breathe in the cannabis.
That's hilarious.
I
And
think
just
you're
chill the
thinking
fuck
of
out.
the future, honestly.
Mandated weed
That's how I'd want
therapy
to start
for-
my.
Dog, I'm living in 2036. bro.
Mandated weed therapy for conflict resolution. You know, like, you got two people that are really pissed at each other. You just throw them in the box together and, like, let them get really high. And then, like, they'll just fucking talk it out. Or they'll talk about aliens and then they'll be okay with each other.
Do any of you guys watch Kenny vs. Spetty?
No.
Kenny
think
vs.
so.
Spetty is a Canadian staple. It is edgy and it is a product of its time, okay? There's a lot of very cancelable episodes, but it's about two friends who battle against each other and they are awful. Like, awful to each other.
They do
But
horrible
different
shit to each other, right?
competitions.
Yeah.
Yes. They did one that was who can smoke the most weed. And it was the only episode where they were like actually friends with each other, and it was like genuinely magical.
That's
Because like
funny.
they talk about it. They're like fucking talking about how back in the day they used to smoke weed and they stopped. And then they're like, yeah, we used to smoke a weed, hang out all the time, and then, you know, realized we hated each other, and now we're here, you know? And it was like truly magical because they were like enjoying each other again, you know?
Yeah.
And Spenny, the guy who normally just gets fucked with, like, he's just the punching bag. He was like, Kenny was doing some crazy shit like he always does. And he's like, honestly, when I'm high, it doesn't even bother me. It's amazing. And it's just like, yeah, dude, take a fucking hoot and chill the fuck out, bruh. You know? Too wound up.
You don't have to always be going at each other. We promise.
Exactly.
Things will work out.
Exactly.
Although I do think some people, like, as we were talking about, like, beginner strains, if you got some people super high off certain, like, very head high strains, I could see them, like, panicking and just, like, lashing out.
Yeah.
Getting that fight or flight kind of instinct going.
I like
Especially
to pick
if they didn't know, like, for example, like eating an edible that they didn't know. They're like, oh, I'm just going to eat, like, 2 whole brownies. I'll be fine.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I do want to make...
Sorry. I've
Jason
had
and
a
Tyler
lot
is
of
coming.
experiences with greening people out.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
And there's a lot of differing ways that people handle it.
Go to sleep.
Some people fucking like try to deny that that's the inevitable reality of what's going on. Some
Like,
people
they're
are
that intoxicated. You gotta
yeah,
just...
or they're
your
just
body's
like,
gonna
no,
submit.
I'm fine. Yeah, no, I'm fine. And it was always like the motherfuckers who always tried to flex. I don't think that you should ever smoke more than you're capable of, and it's not something that you need to impress people with how much you can smoke. Smoke whatever works for you, and whatever. But
I'm the same with drinking. I'm like a proud lightweight. I'm just
There
like,
you
I
go.
don't need as much alcohol to get drunk. Whenever I do drink, like, you know, a few shots and I'm good for the night. I'm not trying to overconsume. And the
There you
same with
go.
weed. Like, that's what I would say to a beginner is don't overconsume.
and that's how it should be. But people were trying to be, you know, cool or like impress, and they
Right.
would try to, like we kind of talked about earlier, you know, be tough and cool and just smoke way too much,
Yeah.
and they would green the fuck out. Either they'd be like, no, like, oh, it's okay, and they'd just like pass out, or they'd be like, no, man, I'm fine. Like, I'm fine. That's all good, dude. Like, this happens. Like, this is just, like, what happens, dog. Don't worry about it. And then they're, like, fucking puking and shit and stuff. Or, like, they'll get, like, a real bad panic attack and think they're gonna fucking die. And those are the ones that you start to feel more bad about, you know?
Tipsy, stop it.
That's
I
not-
think
Sorry.
I think I've greened out once, and it was like on a Black Friday, and we were just smoking out of a bong. But like, if you've got good flower and a pretty decently sized bong, and you're just inhaling for a long time, like you'll get lightheaded just from that. Like you're not
Oh.
inhaling as much oxygen, but you're just hitting this shit, roasting it.
Like,
I don't think Oh, go ahead.
we used to do this thing called really smoking. That's what we called it. And what
Really
it was,
smoking?
that's what we
Some
called it.
RS.
Really smoking. And what it was is like we'd sit there and fucking like let's say I would hit the pipe or the bong or whatever. Like I would hit it And I had to hold my hit until the other dude hit it and blew out and got his hit. Then I blew out my hit, grabbed the bong, and take another hit right after that. And like we just do it back and forth as long as we could. And dude, fuck, dude, we would
I think
fucking
that's
blitzkrieged.
it's an experience everyone needs. Like you have a friend and you have two pieces and you can pass them back and forth.
Especially if you have a couple of people, like if you have like a ring, like we would play a similar game, but like it wasn't ever just me and like one buddy who would play that game. Essentially we would always just smoke, and that's pretty much what we would do. So to say kind of being like that, but
that sounds like hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. But like when you would have like let's say 4 or 5 people, you would kind of play that game where you can't let it out until buddy passes that bong to the next one, and then you've handed your hoot over. Then you can let it go. You have 2 bongs, and they're always going like this around the circle. That's how we would play. And it was an awesome time. And then people like buddy would like fuck with you and like be like, and you're like,
shit. Y'all ever heard of a game called?
Make you fucking see if you're gonna blow it out and shit. Yeah.
Y'all ever heard of a game called Zonk?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna have to find an internet version of it. It's this bong hit dice game. Where there's like there was an app that got real popular. I can't remember what it was, but it's a dice game where like TikTok ones and fives are certain scores. Other than that, you needed trips, and like every 1,000 points you get a bong hit. 4,200 you get a bong hit. 5,150, 7,100.
All the numbers.
Yeah, it's like a fun dice game for people to hang out with.
That sounds fun. I love weed games. We made a fucking weed game back on like 420 like years ago with like a spinning wheel, and it had like different things. And holy fuck, like we were like some Chief Keef smokers. That shit fucking like I would laugh at myself today for like Chief Keefers. And that game was dangerous. We couldn't play that game for fucking long because you only have like 3 people, and it's like, okay, like my turn's done, and it only takes like 20 minutes. I've gone around that circle like 6 times.
That's funny.
There's like you got to spin the wheel. Come on, you're like no.
3 bong rips in a row, and you're like, dog.
Fuck.
I hate
it. This is reminding me of those like last person to keep their hand on a car, like gets the car. You gotta like hit the bong too.
Oh yeah.
Who's gonna stay in the circle in the hot box?
420 a game that we played was, well, it wasn't really a game. It was more of a challenge, but we all got like 7 grams. And I ordered it all off actually that exact website I showed those edibles on earlier. 7 grams. There's like 8 of us, and we had 5 hours to finish it, or as ever much as we could. And whoever finished it first or smoked the most got theirs for free. Like the group paid for their 7 grams. Everyone else, well, you just pay for yours, and then like $5 towards the, or like a couple bucks or something.
Right.
Holy fuck. We got through fucking like 7 grams in 2.5 hours. Fucking my buddy fucking Howie, who is actually in town right now, fucking beat me by 2.5 minutes, and then another dude came in about 3 minutes after me, and then everyone else was out in like a gram or 2 in or whatever. But it was sick, and it was all off like the same site. But, like that was like a fun like set of time and smoke, kind of like what we did too, kind of
smoke down.
But like
the Grammys was a good time. We smoked like yeah, we do. That's what I'm kind of worried about, is we could take a lot of fucking dabs. Like, because we destroyed a gram of wax each in like 90 minutes or less, which is just a lot of fucking wax.
And almost wasteful, because like, I'm not going to get higher.
Yeah, true. Even half gram,
Creed
quick
song
half
starts playing. Can you take me higher? Yeah, what's
like,
this?
No. I'll just cough. I'll cough more, that's for sure.
It becomes more of like a lung challenge at that point. Like how tough are your lungs?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, as far as like wild smoke stories as well, a grav. Like we would get like 2-gallon size water jugs and just like take gravs out of the bathtub or like the kitchen sink, and
yeah.
that's a lot of smoke. And it's nice too because you're not pulling while you're inhaling. You're just like inhaling.
I did that a lot in college. That was like a nice, cheap, easy way to just like, if you don't have a bong and you just have like some shitty pipe, or you just like you're rolling blunts all the time and you want to hit something a little more concentrated, you just like
get a bowl piece.
Yeah, just get a bowl piece.
Yep.
Cut a hole in the top of a milk cap, and just stick that shit in there and cut the jug in half and just fill your sink. You know.
Have you ever done waterfalls? It's a variation of the grav bong.
I believe so. Once.
So like that's like a gravity bong, or like essentially like a water aqua bong. It's similar, but you take like a bottle and you just poke a hole in the bottom of it. You fill it with water. You put the same like bowl or like a nut from like a wrench kit or something as like a bowl. Fucking, you have another bucket to catch it, or just into the sink, or just outside somewhere where you can
like release the water.
And you light it and you release the water, and it just shoots it out the bottom, and then it fills the bottle with smoke. Yeah. Then you take off the lid and then fill it with water again and and go. And then you don't need like 2 bottles. You don't need that like shit. You just shoot it out the bottom.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
that's like on the go.
Yeah, we would have like a Culligan jug, like a big thing of water, and we would just like fucking just like bang them in the parking lot because they were quick. They were like smellless because it all stuck in the bottle. Ooh, here's another amazing way to do dabs if you don't have a rig. It works, and it works way better than you would ever imagine.
Knife hits?
Yeah, I was about to say knife hits.
No, on the go, wherever you are, you can make this at any gas station. You take a water bottle, you take a lighter, and you just kind of burn like a hole into the water bottle, so it's about yay big, okay, in the bottom of a water bottle. You need a dart or a cigarette, okay? You fucking chuff the dart a bit so it's got a bit of a cherry. And then, I kid you not, I promise you, you're going to do this and you're going to say, TALORX, you fucking genius. It's perfect. You keep the lid on the bottle, okay? On the water bottle. You drop the dab on the cherry of the dart. You put the dart in the bottle with the little hole that you cut in the, or you blew into the bottom with the lighter. And you watch that shit milk and milk and milk and milk. And you will notice that it is the fucking dab that is burning in there. Because there will be a clear distinction that it stops fucking smoking. And that's when the dab's done. You take the fucking dart out, you take the lid off, and you take a fucking dab anywhere, anytime. And it does not taste like fucking darts. Like, it is a TSN turning point. I promise.
This sounds ingenious. Yeah, like you're on the road. You're like at the gas station. You're like, I have wax, but I don't have a rig or a torch.
Yeah, my vape died.
Yeah.
Fuck. Honestly, just go buy a fucking pack of darts, or even like I'm sure you could do it with like because you can't buy individual cigarettes, at least in Canada. You can't. Like
no loose cigarettes.
A cigarillo or something, like a cigar, something that you can get a good cherry on. That's what you need, and then you drop the dab on the cherry and put it in the bottle.
And I feel like also with the tobacco, it's like adds to the slow burn. Like I asked why people smoke like weed and tobacco, because I was like, why not just smoke flower? And they were like, tobacco burns slower and differently than weed. So like as far as like a smoking experience, it adds like it kind of slows down the burn of the weed essentially.
So like when I was younger, right? Before dispensaries, we rolled fucking blunts, or we used to roll Juicy J's because the weed tastes like shit, and like the blunt or the Juicy J would make the weed taste better.
Absolutely. We used to have this shit that you could like drop and it like flavored your weed and shit.
Yep, I remember those.
Hell
the sweetener, the little sweetener. Yep.
Yeah. Fucking so crazy. Fucking.
Wait, what? You dropped some sort of like liquid on the weed?
So like you can put it in the water or on the weed. If you put it like in the bong water or on the weed, fucking if you put it on the weed and like lit it in a bong, like it like glue like flames, but it was awesome and you could taste it really well. but it made that fucking shit weed taste better at least.
Bearable. Something you would want to smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we used to get what I called crushed black seed, and that's what it was. It was like compressed, like fucking weed with like crushed black seeds in it. Hence the name, crushed black seed. And it'd always have all these fucking gnarly ass stems in it. It was so gross.
It's like nobody picked through this. They just threw this together.
Well, you were getting like, I mean, it was just coming up by the fucking truckload at that point.
Right.
At that time from Mexico, you know, like we weren't getting like
mass produce.
Yeah, we weren't getting that good like Humboldt County, even though it was being grown back then. We weren't getting that because we were just kids, you know. We were getting what we called the dirt weed, and
that's why it took me a long time to go back to indica, because when I was growing up, the only thing people could secure was indica, and I'm like, I'm not just trying to fucking chill for the next 4 to 6 hours. Like, I want to do some shit. And for a long time, I was like, damn, do I just stop smoking? Or I started getting good at like being able to smell, like you can kind of tell a difference between a sativa, at least hybrid, versus like a full-on indica.
Yeah,
and the way it looks too.
I mean, even with me, like even if it ends up being an indica, if I can smell a lot of limonene in it, I'll probably grab it up, because I just like that terpene. Like all the weed that I ever get that has that terpene in it is really fucking good for me. Like helps with pain, like gives me a little bit of energy. Like it's solid. That's probably my favorite one.
Like a jack of all trades kind of strain.
Well, that terpene specifically just happens to tackle those things, and if I can get it with the pinene, a little bit of pinene as well, oh yeah, the lemon and the pine together, like that shit slaps.
What you're going for.
I'm feeling great the whole day, you know. I'm like good to go.
Yeah, one of my most favorite recent strains that I started smoking was actually one of the first dabs that I found that I actually liked the flavor of it, and it's like tangerine creamsicle. And ooh. I'm not a huge like orange guy, especially like artificial flavors, but damn, like it's one of the first dabs that I was like, when we were talking about like low temp dabs, I was like, all right, I'm not trying to.
I want to taste this shit.
Yeah, it's gonna burn forever, but hey, I guess it's worth it.
I rock that fucking 710 degrees, okay, my dude? I got the perfect temp in my opinion. Motherfuckers be rocking like that 550 shit. Not saying that it's like the worst idea if you love to taste it, but like 710, you get that taste and the burn and a solid oomphy hit. You know?
I'm saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying your opinion sucks.
True, base, and I appreciate the clarification.
People have dab temp preferences. It's known.
I usually dab a little bit higher temp, but I use on my gadgets. I'm not actually looking at a temperature. It's just the highest setting, you know.
Yeah.
But typically speaking, that's what I do. But I was looking at watching a video not too long ago where they actually talked about the best temperatures for the different types of terpenes that you're smoking.
Yeah.
And how it actually affects like their therapeutic properties and how they're able to help you. And if you cook them essentially, because that's what you're doing. If you cook them too high, you're not getting anything off of it.
That terp profile is as important as any other indicator of the weed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would agree.
Yes, and I do understand, and like that's why I'd say like something around like 650. I would say, yo, I totally understand and agree 100%. Like, and from what I've seen, like that's a pretty damn good area for like a terpy, nice, not super murder spun.
Yeah.
Fucking terpy vibe.
That's on your high end. Yeah, I agree. I barely ever dab anymore because I just can't take it. Not like the high. I just physically, my body can't take it.
Yeah, it's the most intense smoking for sure.
It's my throat. Like I just can't. It's not worth it to me.
Which is weird because like what do you think the temperature of like smoking a joint is? Because that's my problem with joints. I don't really like joints because whenever I smoke them, like they don't get me that high, and it's like hitting a pipe. Like it's fucking hot.
We need to invent
is
an
weird.
ice catcher for fucking joints.
You can get one of those little. They make those little bubblers. I have a couple. Where you like put in one end.
And then it percolates it.
Bubblers are nice little first pieces, I feel like.
I don't
Especially
know.
if you're like smoking on the go a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about temperatures on joints, but I do like them in terms of like if I'm really looking to get the taste of the weed I'm smoking, provided I have a paper that's not extra fucking thick. I feel
That's
like
why you need
that's
those
one of the
Blazy
best-
Susan papers.
Hey, well, I got the Blazy Susan. And I got the Blazy Susan papers. You want to see?
Fuck yeah, base.
Oh, where are they at? Oh, here they are.
That's awesome.
I would agree.
That's awesome.
With papers, you
That's
do get a
awesome.
lot of flavor from flower.
So
Yeah,
And I would also agree. I've grown to like them. Like I used to really dislike them and be like, I'm not gonna even smoke that, because I wasn't, I guess, desperate enough. I was like, we could cut that up, or we could put it in a piece or something. We could figure something out.
right, right.
I always felt like it was a waste of weed. Like I felt like, yo, dog, I could get way more high off like taking like 5 bong rips than like a full gram in this goddamn joint right now. You know what
Even
I'm
like
saying?
0.75. I guess if you're sharing with somebody that's like smokes pretty heavily as well, like maybe you guys need to share a 1 gram joint, but I don't know. I agree. Like I would rather cut it and put it into a bowl piece for sure.
I mean, me, it's like if it's flour, it's either a bong or a joint. I don't really fuck with pipes too much. They're too hard to keep
Yeah.
clean. It's like if I'm
True.
gonna put the effort in, I'd rather put it into a bong that's got at least some water filtration.
Got
Then I-
some glass too. Like you can actually see. Like if you keep it clean. Like I've always felt like when I kept my pipes clean, I'm like I can't even really see it that well because not a lot of pieces are like pretty like clear.
Well, they're describing my weed habits like I should be living under a bridge or something.
Hey, Talorx came through with that gas station
Weed
job.
habits are smoked in the
I
joints.
I mean, I smoke like 3-4 blunts a stream.
Fucking blunts or something. Like I haven't smoked a blunt in like years. Like that's the type of shit that would humble my ass. I feel like there's a genuine like when you switch between tools, you
Yeah.
know, like there you get fucked up until you're like, you know, used to it and adjust to it. Like if I started smoking a blunt, I bet a blunt would fuck me raw right now.
Yeah.
Like I
Well-
could smoke 30 fucking bong rips, but I smoke a blunt, I'm sure I'd be fucked. I just haven't done it.
I go
Yeah,
back
long
and forth between flour and dabs for that very reason. I feel like I'm not getting the entourage effect with just dabs. I feel like I get more of that when I do do some dabs and then maybe like do a couple like rips off the bong of some weed, or if I smoke a joint of some good weed, you know, like usually I'll smoke kind of small joints, but I do use these glass tips, so I'm fucking sold on them. I'm a Funky Field Tips junkie. I collect these fucking things. Like for a while, I had a whole like Instagram where it's just all my collection of like Funky Field Tips and shit.
So you put them on joints and like blunts, like just like tips?
Yeah, you roll them into it like you would a crutch, you know.
Ah, word.
So you know the paper's on the outside, but they're nice. Hold on, let me see if I can find one.
It's like a glass crutch, basically.
Yeah, word.
Yeah, they're really
They're
pretty.
really good for canagars.
Oh no,
Word.
I'm throwing shit around down here.
Y'all know what a canagar is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really like
Yeah.
fucking those are expensive as fuck.
Yeah,
Really.
they
Yeah,
are
that's
Hey,
See, this is
that's normally what you'll
Oh,
see me
word.
smoking. Like I
Yeah.
buy like $5 grams of wax and just put them in the blunts.
this is
Oh, word.
this is fucking Eric Bobo's signature
Eric
Funky
Bobo.
Field Tip.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't.
Cypress Hill. You know, if you're a
Fuck
fan
yeah.
of weed smoking
nice.
music.
Let's go, fucking bass.
So, but yeah, like you just roll it into the end of your joint, you know, and puff away. It like makes the joint have a nice draw. Like I've rolled some pretty fucked up joints, but I still had that on the end of it, and the joint didn't run. So hey, rock and roll. It does help with some of that. Helps with the airflow and shit.
Gives them a nice weight too.
Yeah, but like the thing is with those is that they release them every Friday at 4:20 p.m. Pacific time, and if there's one that you like the look of, it'll be gone before you fucking click the button if you're not there at 4:20.
And you have to buy them online.
A bitch.
Yeah.
Damn.
There are some.
I want a glass tip now.
There are some shops that they have like regular clear ones that you can buy, but like if you go back and look at their vault and look at all the different colored ones, that's where I got hung up because I was like, damn, these are dope. Like they've got all these different designs and shit. Yeah, like I have a fat one that glows in the dark. Where is it? I just saw it the other day.
I do like rolling for like if I'm smoking on the go for sure.
Yeah. Me too.
Yo, fucking.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It's somewhere in here. Somewhere in my, because I have so many of them. Like, see, they come in these little cases and shit.
Damn.
I feel like I'd lose them.
They're full on collectibles.
Or break them.
Well, that's why.
Definitely sounds like a collector thing.
I can't. I lose everything.
Like here's
like
a fat candy cane one.
Oh, that's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I just get them because I collect them. Like I have them in a little like fucking holster type thing down here. Oh, here's the fat boy. Here's a big one.
At the smoking station.
Yeah, my little smoking
At the
station.
car wash.
And that one glows in the dark.
Yo, Jason, you have 710 followers.
That's right, I do. That's right.
Yeah.
We celebrated with dabs earlier.
Hell yeah.
No,
So that was like, so I didn't just like discover something for you. You already addressed that. I'm just like late to the party. Okay, all right.
no, it's cool though. I welcome the recognition. I think it's great.
That's funny. I don't identify as a follower of Jason.
Oh
I am
no.
a meat popsicle.
Wow.
Gotta fix it.
Yeah.
All right.
If you got a shout out, put it in your chat.
Interesting chat there,
Our
Jason.
great host.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. But where were we? I got derailed talking about my tips. Just the tip.
Nice tips.
Just the tips.
Some glass tips.
I think we're kind of talking about how like switching fucking.
How switching between
fucked up.
switching
yeah,
between how
so-
you smoke is a good way to fuck with your own tolerance, right?
So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I like doing a little bit of both. Like primarily I dab, but like if like especially if I'm having a lot of like say back pain or like I'm having some anxiety or some shit, I'll do like a fat dab off the Stunden and then I'll roll me up a joint and go sit out on the patio and smoke a joint, you know, and do it that way.
Smoking outside.
Just get both of it. Yeah.
It's a great experience.
I got a little swing chair I sit in, so I just like chill out in that thing and smoke my little fucking joint, and then when I'm done, I go back inside and life is better.
It's finally not minus 4,000 right now, so I can actually go outside and smoke. So that's exciting.
It was
I
actually
got
super
2
nice
weeks
today.
of sun. Let's go, and then it's
Hey.
minus 40 again. So.
This is the part. This is the part where you're gonna tell me that Arizona people have privilege, right?
Oh, for sure. Fucking
Year
weather
round.
privilege. You're goddamn right. I strongly disagree with the I like seasons argument. Like, I agree that you're allowed to like things, but what you like is wrong. Thank you.
We've covered this already.
I'm just gonna say it depends on where you're at.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say that there's kind of a weather privilege for people who live in the Midwest, like, or I guess it's the the Southwest is what you would call Arizona and that kind
Yeah,
of desert area, because you have
Southwest.
heat, but you have dry heat, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
like I live in Arizona, or I mean I live in Georgia right now. I grew up in Texas,
Oh,
and I live with like the humid like bayou heat, like
Yeah.
90% humidity and
Humidity.
105.
Very
you know?
different.
And that's
Yeah.
like that's unlivable. That's like not something that I would wish on my enemies. You know?
Yes.
So,
The problem with the dry heat is well, it gets in Phoenix it gets up to 123. That's like where it usually caps out at.
Hell yeah, baby.
And the problem is that you don't sweat here, so people don't think they need to drink water, and they end
have
up
to
getting
hydrate in the
dehydrated.
desert.
They just like, especially these old guys that go out and play golf, they're out there
Yeah.
drinking their fucking
I-
whiskey and cokes, not drinking. You don't see them fucking pick up a bottle of water for nothing, and I'm like,
I am
fall out.
blacked out on a golf course personally in Arizona because of that
Yeah.
exact reason.
Didn't
yeah.
he heat stroke after 18 holes?
Yeah.
And you're blackout drunk.
After 8 holes, dog. Fuck
Yeah, I
you-
bet.
you're not gonna make
That's
it
not
not
heat.
good.
But it happens all
Yeah.
the time. People die out here all the time that way. But that's really the thing is the heat out here is deceiving because it's like, oh, I'm not
Yeah.
sweating, so it's okay. And then next thing you know, like you're fucking having sunstroke and shit like that. Like it's ugly.
It's happened to me quite a few times down there. Fucking that shit is deceiving. But I like Florida is like that weather, like that humid hot. Miss me with that shit.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
can't
Agreed.
deal with that. I
Nope.
feel sweaty and sticky and
gross.
just like a wet blanket of just like at all times.
Yeah.
How do
I
you
can't.
ever dry off after the shower? That's what I want to ask them.
No, not
Yeah.
really.
You
you
Yeah.
don't. You get out.
don't.
You get out of the shower, and then it's so humid that you just stay damp.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah,
you open the door and you go outside and you're hit with this like wall of like wet heat.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're sweating by the time you get to your car. It's fucking gross.
I used to spend summers in Monroe, Louisiana, and if you guys know where that is, it's like swamp country. And dude, yeah, muggy, fucking horrible heat. I would try to go out there and skateboard in it, and it's like my wheels and my skateboard even felt soggy. Like everything
Oh,
felt
sure.
soggy. Like I was just like soggy everything. And I used to rock corduroys a lot, and like I never showed my legs because I got a tattoo when I was 12, and I was hiding it from my parents. I hid it for fucking 6 years until I was
Goddamn.
18 by not wearing shorts. So I was out fucking wearing these fucking corduroy skate pants and shit, like trying to do my shit while it's fucking blistering hot out there. And yeah, dude. I decided to learn how to cook for my aunt that summer instead. Well, those couple summers. And let my cousins take me out and get me drunk on moonshine and smoke some good swamp grass with me, you know.
That's a good
Like
idea.
all things were better then. I just realized I'm not skating in fucking Louisiana. Fuck this.
Yeah, no, that's not good. I don't like that.
Yeah, I would be quite deterred being in the bayou, being like, let's skate around. Let's go to the skate park.
Yeah.
I could rollerboard, roller skate, and ice skate, but I could never ride a skateboard.
I love skateboarding.
Yeah, I don't have the balance for it. I could never do it.
I don't know how people
I don't
drop
have
in
the
on half pipes.
tenacity
You have
and
to leave-
fearlessness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people just
the-
aren't, but there's a lot of skaters that don't drop in on half pipes that aren't vert skaters. That's just not their thing. Like
Oh yeah.
Rodney
That's
Mullen,
true.
for example, he's a prime example
One
of
of the
somebody
greatest of all
Yeah.
time.
and doesn't vert skate. He's a street skater, like, and he's fucking dope. He makes it look like a ballet, you know. He's beautiful. Like,
There's some
mean,
really
really.
good. Oh, sorry. You can go.
I was just gonna say, like, growing up, none of my friends did like vert skating. We had like a tiny skate park in my town, and you could barely call what people would do there like actually like hard vertical skating. It's just kind of like a couple of little ramps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you know, they still enjoyed doing it, but they never like dropped in off some massive half pipe and tried to do tricks and stuff like that. It's just like skating down the street to your friend's house.
yeah,
True. Yeah, it's a great way of transportation for sure.
Yeah.
We did some fucking outlandish shit. Like, we used to have these portables at the elementary school we went to, and we skated on top of those, and we're like doing kick flips from one to the other. We got bold and lit our skateboards on fire. We had one of our friends was in a photography class, so he was trying to get shots of us like doing kick flips between the portables, like from underneath. One of the boards fell on him and broke his camera. Like,
Fuck yeah.
but yeah, we had a lot of fun doing it.
That's fun.
Nobody got seriously injured that day except for
It's just
the
the camera.
camera.
That day.
Yeah, it's just a camera. Fuck it, who cares?
But yeah, and then like we used to skate off my roof and shit all the time, and
Your what? Your roof?
yeah, at my house, and my one day, like as my parents were moving out because they had sold the house to my older brother, they found pictures of that got developed of me and my friend skateboarding on the roof and like doing all these tricks and fucking doing tricks off the roof into the backyard and shit. Like, yeah, it was a pretty interesting conversation.
I see these videos of people skating at like their parents' house, and their parents' like pool is one of those ones that like look like from the 70s from California, and has like a little small bowl, and it's all decorated to be like for skating. And I'm like, damn, that's kind of cool. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
I wish I was good at it. Like, it just takes like the fear of like not getting hurt, lots of time, lots of effort, lots of practice. You know, like I just don't have that, and I have nothing but respect for those who do. It's just
Yeah.
not me.
I think that what happened with me as I got older is like I understood that I had to pay for my own health insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
Here's a
wonderful send.
motherfucker. How about a one wheel? Anybody ride a one wheel?
No, but those are
Nah.
crazy.
They're cool though.
Yeah, I
Are
got a
those
buddy
things
that has
that
one.
you,
I'm not sure
Like
about
lean
getting on.
forward.
Yeah.
Like
What?
the wheels in the middle of your feet, and you like lean forward to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the
I've
one.
ridden
I've
one of
seen
those
those.
before.
Those are wild.
Those are fun. My nephew has one of those, and I had a good time messing around my brother's backyard on it. He's got like a little path, like a little sidewalk path in his backyard. And I was
I would
like
maybe
cruising
try
on
it out, but it kind of concerns me because I've ridden a Segway, and that was kind of sketch.
I love Segway.
Oh,
I would buy a Segway.
I love Segways. Fucking, there's quite a few places in Arizona where you can rent a Segway. That's where I've been
Hey.
there
Yeah.
twice. And Segways are awesome. Oh,
Yeah, agreed.
I do like Segways, but the whole mono wheel thing I think freaks me out. Especially it looks like they can go faster than like the rental Segways, or sometimes those ones that like are capped at like 15 miles per hour.
Have you ever tried?
But yeah, on a Segway you can like dip down and turn like 360 or 180, not 360. They're pretty fun.
Have you ever?
I think they're a good time.
Have you ever legit tried riding a unicycle though, like a regular unicycle?
Nah.
Wow.
terrifying.
That's got to be a life experience, but
I've tried both a unicycle and a pogo stick, and fuck no and fuck no. Let me tell
Pogo
you,
stick, yeah.
pogo
was
Try
just,
to
sticks
pogo
are
stick
fucking
is
dangerous
fucking
as fuck, dude. Like,
Those people
that
that can,
shit
like,
scared
flip
the
it and then
fuck
land
out
on
of
it.
me. Yeah, no, fuck a pogo stick. Fuck a
That's
pogo
what you
stick.
end up doing, actually.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's how it ends.
Well, it fucks you, you know.
yeah.
Oh shit.
Fucking pogo stick. I haven't thought of a pogo stick in so long.
I saw a video actually like a couple weeks ago, fucking of a dude doing like flips and shit on a pogo stick. It was crazy, and like
Yeah,
jumping
just imagine
off
trying to
of
do.
shit.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I've seen somebody ride like a BMX bike on a fence, and I'm like, what are we doing out here? Like, some human beings, I'm like, they've gotten so good at something that like just seems almost impossible. Things that don't look easy.
Yeah,
We
It's so
had like we used to ride these things called go-peds when I was younger. Like, and they were like these little gas-powered.
mopeds.
Well, but they were like fucking what, like little two-wheeled like razor scooters, except they were fucking, except they were
Motorized?
gas powered. Yeah, with the motor on them.
Hey.
They were called GoPeds. We had like 2 of those. We had like these really badass ones that my dad got us when we were kids. And me and my brother used to fucking rail around the fucking neighborhood on those things. I mean, I don't know how fast
The
they got
terror of the
going.
neighborhood.
Oh no, we do most definitely were. Because we get
I
really
mean, even when
fucking
you're
high
young-
and ride around on them. We get just fucking baked. And
When
be
you're
like,
young, 15 miles per hour is fast.
yeah, yeah.
Because
it
like
is.
if you think about it, if you're running that fast, you're moving.
yeah, and
That's just fucked.
when you're high as fuck too, it's
And you're having to balance. Nothing like a scooter to the ankle though. It's
Oh
what
my
life.
god.
Everyone. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
That
No, that
is
sounds awful.
awful. I had a buddy who fucking was like really good at scootering. Like, why are you this good at scootering? Like, it was crazy.
Why have you put this much time into scootering? Please explain.
Honestly, it was like one of those things where it's just like, really, dog? But hey, he was really, really great at it. And my dude, he let me use this, and you take one of those off the ankle. Oh my god, right on the side of your ankle.
You
Those
think
things suck.
your foot has just been amputated pretty much?
Oh yeah. Awful. But yeah. But my dude fucking, I've seen him take some spills on his goddamn scooter. Because he'd take that shit to the skate park. Do some
Oh,
gnarly
yeah.
ass shit. I can only imagine the shit that he's fucking gotten smoked with. Cause
See, I feel like everyone's kind of got their little thing that they like to do for like adrenaline junkie. Mine was like being able to do like flips on a trampoline.
hell yeah, baby. That's my thing too. Fucking trampolines. I love trampolines.
so
Like
that's
you go to the
what-
trampoline park. Those
That-
were
That's like what
it's like
we
what
had.
are. Yeah, I was like, what is when I first went to a trampoline park? I'm like, why am I so damn tired after bouncing on a trampoline
4
for
seconds?
5 minutes? Yeah, it literally feels like 2 minutes, and you're just out of breath. You're dying.
Yep,
Yeah.
I agree.
I haven't been on a trampoline in a really long time. I had
Yeah.
one when I was a kid in my backyard, and I don't think I've been on a trampoline as an adult, like at all.
Oh, you need to do it. A trampoline
Yeah.
park, honestly, never buy the 1 hour. It's a scam. No one's jumping on those trampolines for an hour.
No.
Fucking,
True.
if they have a 15-minute package, do that because you'll be tired in 5 minutes.
Well,
But no joke, it's so good.
I don't know.
I like it because the wall.
I took my little one with me, and I guarantee
Yeah.
like the couple hour package with her is what I had to do. I mean, now she's older, but back
That's
then it
true.
was like
If you have
we're
a-
going,
kid.
we are fucking doing it, and like some of the shit I got really into too because they started to the one by where we live started putting in like these little obstacle courses there too. So it wasn't just the trampolines. There's like these little like obstacle courses you could run, and they're fucking hard. Like, you know, ones where you're like running across the moving like spinny thing, you know,
Damn.
like that. Like,
Oh,
Some
that's
wipeout
cool.
shit.
yeah, like it's.
I would love that.
It was
That's sick.
fun, and they had like another area that was all just like for dodgeball, and another area
Yeah,
where you could just
dodgeball.
dunk basketballs.
Oh,
Like
a
it was
trampoline
just a
park.
trampoline to
Yeah.
dunk basketballs. Like it was
Yeah, that's
dope.
dope.
So like because there were so many different activities to bounce around between, like it was a lot of fun.
This guy.
That's fair.
He's on a roll with the punny.
That's fair. It was good though. Like that is really cool. But like, yeah, if you have a kid and shit like that, or you're like not just like doing like straight jumping for that time, like I get some more time. But
I'm
like,
gonna go. I'm
if
gonna
you're
go.
just jumping for an hour.
I'm gonna go, and I'm just gonna stand in the middle and just barely jump and stare at the kids real creepily.
I honestly hated the
You
people
gotta
that were
wear wear
bouncing.
smeared grease paint and a clown nose too. Though.
This is like fake blood on my shirt.
I went like 2 or 3 times for people's like birthday party when I was young, and every time we went, there was like hella people, and there would be kids just like bouncing, and I'm like, I'm trying to do a flip, like move over to another tramp
go
where all
away.
the other kids are just bouncing. Like
Yeah.
just go bounce with your friends. Come on,
Yeah.
I'm trying to do a flip here. not trying to fucking go for a backflip and knee you in the head.
I'm trying to do a flip here, kid. Come on.
I'm
I'm
flipping
trying to
you.
flip it.
Beat it, kid.
What are you doing over here? Trying to flip it.
I just wanted to do a little flip.
What are you doing?
Has
Hey.
anyone here done like an escape room?
I love
Yes.
those things.
Never.
Those are my favorite thing in the world. No
Yeah.
joke. Oh,
Same.
I thought I would
Please
hate it,
do
and
one.
I would say if like everyone needs to at least try one once because they're
Yes.
pretty interesting.
It's
I've
got to
done,
be a
like,
good one,
no
though.
joke.
Like, it's got to be a good one.
Yeah.
'cause, you know.
Like you look ahead of time for like the theme. But like I get competitive with that shit because they'll tell
Hell
you like,
yeah.
oh, this is the fastest somebody solved all the puzzles. And you're
Yeah.
like,
Just
all
love
right.
puzzles.
Gotta get on the
Yeah.
leaderboard.
Puzzles.
It's just like IRL puzzling, right? Puzzling is super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
Exactly what it is.
intense, like where there's like multiple rooms and like it's honestly impressive. Like if you go to like a good one, like
Yeah.
check out the ratings. It is shocking and impressive. Like I've been to a lot of escape rooms. It's one of my favorite things to fucking do. Like if there's an outing, unless it's an escape room, I'm probably like about it. Like
Yeah.
they're the
Sometimes
best.
I think to myself, I'm like, if I was really trapped here, I would be kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Because like some of the things are like you gotta really look for it, and especially if you're like trying to go for the record or whatever, it's like, how did somebody solve this in like 3 minutes? What's going on?
Yeah.
Right.
What are they on?
Yeah.
But some of them also have like come back and done it again for the second time.
That's
Shit
true.
like
That's
that,
not
you know,
fair.
it's just
I
like,
feel
yeah,
like
it's
it
not
should be
fair.
based on first
That's
person.
just- They need to have a category for speed running times and for like how long it takes you to flash it. Like you know,
I
how
feel
in
like
rock
low-key
climbing,
people
they have like a
would
flash
be-
category.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like people would
Yeah.
really be way more into it if they just like started marketing it as IRL speed running.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That'd be
like
funny as
also
shit.
when it comes to escape rooms, like once you've done quite a few escape rooms, you start to get the patterns of the types of
Yep.
things and the types of like so like when
What
like,
kind of
when I
puzzles
go
to
into-
expect?
I
Yeah,
think they
so, like,
need to
after, like,
make
my
it.
fifth or oh sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, after my fifth or sixth time fucking going into an escape room, I automatically know, okay, I see a calendar, like, we're probably gonna use this. There's a map, okay, there's gonna be, like, what are, like, the names, what are, like, looking for things like, what are there weird capitalized letters? Is there a clock? What is the time on the clock? You know, like, those types of things, like, and just, like, knowing those things to look for first, like, when you've been through quite a few and you know where you've been stumped before, you kind of like start to use
You
that
can look
shit.
for those
Yeah.
like categories of like information, or like you start cataloging everything in the room.
Yeah.
Yes, and like for instance, one of the best things that ever, and I felt like a goddamn genius when I figured this out. It was actually at an escape room in Arizona. It was a Da Vinci Code themed one, and it was
Nice.
sick.
Ooh.
And there were these like chips on the wall, and like we found different balls, right? Like there was like these different chips on the walls, and like there were different colored like little like slashes on the walls. And
So they were
correlated
chips
to the
and
color
balls,
of
is
the
what you're
ball.
saying?
Yeah, exactly. And like they correlated to the colors of the balls, and you would drop them, and however high they'd bounce correlated to a number,
Oh,
and
wow.
that was used for like a lock.
That's
You know,
cool.
like shit like that, where it's just like, holy fuck! Like I felt like a goddamn genius. I'm like, what if we bounce these, and then it like correlated to like a code that went to like the thing, and like that's the shit where like you would be stuck on that for a long time, possibly for like the whole time if you didn't have a hint or like just lucked out and like thought of that.
And
But
you're
now
just
you think
thankful
about
that
shit
it's low
like that
pressure.
next time.
You're like,
Exactly.
thank God this is not a Saw game because I would be dead.
Yeah.
Everybody in the challenges is dead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. But you learn just like that, like weird shit like that, or like out of the box things that like you start to think about and you implement when you do them, and you get better at overall doing escape rooms.
Yeah, they're a good time. For some reason, it made me think of like fun houses, like at a carnival. And one time I went into a room that was like the Willy Wonka room, where as you go further into it, it gets shorter. And like you gotta straight crawl through that shit. And it was a strobe light, and I was like, I hate this. Like, I don't want to go through this. Like, I know after I get through the door, it's gonna be over. But like, if I was just in a tunnel like this forever on a loop, I don't
Have
even want to
anybody-
escape.
Have anybody been to a horror one? Have any of you been to a
No.
horror themed one?
I don't like
Yeah.
to be scared.
I would do it though, but you know what? I was gonna say I think like what would be cool is to have like if you had one of those escape rooms, but it was a little bit bigger and you could have physical obstacles. You know, like I think that would be really cool. I think that would make it more fun because you get both the puzzling aspect of it and you get a little bit of like physical. Like obviously, it would be something you ultimately have to be able to get through.
Type
You
of
know?
physical obstacle. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like a deep one. Like it'd have
He
to be
wants
like
to
a
play Jumanji.
60-foot deep cavern, and you've got to take a fucking 6-foot wide gap without issue.
This reminds me,
I prefer a much smaller gap.
in like mountain
Mine's
towns, like
again
you can go and find random spots. I forgot what it's called, but like you literally hook into a harness in these trees, and then you just like jump from platform to platform, but you're like
Zip
locked
lining.
in. Not zip lining. I mean, you are kind of like hooked in like a zip line, but
Platforming.
yeah, like so like you would go
It's
from
like
tree to tree,
bouldering or something.
and there's yeah, I guess
Kind
so.
of.
Docking.
I've only heard of bouldering.
Space
bouldering
docking?
recently. Good.
Is it called pegging?
Ah.
It's
They
called
jump on dogs.
branching, right? No,
Probably.
so you, like the hooks are already there, and basically they just kind of like swing from like Tarzan.
You don't like go
Tarzan
like you have
Park.
obstacles, like you have things you're trying to like jump towards, or like you
Oh,
have to
okay.
walk on like a narrow passage, and if you
Are you
fall,
talking
obviously.
about like a ropes course?
Oh, there
Kind
you go.
of,
Ropes.
I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
You know, where
It's
they
like
have
up
like
in
a
the
giant,
trees.
where they have like a giant's ladder, and basically it's logs, but they're like 2.5, 3 feet apart. You got to go up to the top, and then like a rope bridge across, and then
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
not a telephone pole, but something like that.
you
But you are
can
at
you
least
can like
safety harness.
climb up to a zip line. That some of them, that's the way it ends. Is like you climb up the trees to like a pretty big zip line, which is
Yeah,
also
like
fun.
an adventure course or something like that. that they're
God,
called.
yeah, those things are. I've always like liked watching those like wipeout shows, or
Ah,
like
yeah,
try
I
to
would fuck with
fit a
those
hole
for
in the wall.
sure.
So I did
At
a.
least try.
I
Do you
was.
think that would like bring tourists and shit if you had like a real one?
I remember being.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I remember being in Boy Scouts, and we had those like type of ropes, obstacle courses type things that we
Yeah.
have to go do. I love that
Fun
shit. That was fun.
It's
I
fun
thought
as
that
fuck.
shit was fun. That was my favorite shit to do. More than
Oh, yeah.
anything else, I love doing that shit.
There was a fad. There was a fad where they did that for like corporate team building for a while.
Mike wants us
That's
to know.
interesting.
Mike Lightyear
see
wants
that.
us to know he's real fucking high now, boys. Real
I love it.
fucking
I
high.
love it. That's
Holy
good.
shit, brain
we'll try to
zap
match.
alert.
Amazing.
Fucking good shit.
I had to give him an amazing.
You gotta.
Fuck, that's good shit. I gotta get going in like, in like 6 minutes here, unfortunately.
No, that's fine. I
you'll
appreciate
be
you
missed.
popping in on short notice,
But-
dude.
Oh, hey, no problem. But yeah, I just wanted to make that clear. So if I like leave, I'll say bye again, but then it's not a shock.
Okay.
Not as
Fire heads
abrupt.
Yes, exactly.
This is the
No.
5-minute TALORX warning.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a big fan of the warning. You know.
Well, no, usually
Like what?
usually at the 2-hour mark, and we're almost there anyways. Like I would stop and be like, hey, give yourselves a shout out. If you want to stick around, you can stick around. If you want to go, you can go. So you're actually like just getting to where ultimately I was gonna go as well. So
Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to
Yeah.
preempt the.
Way to break up the
hard
party
there.
there.
I fucking always do it. I'm the old man who goes to bed way too early always, and then I'm just always the first one to go. And oh, fucking Tyler's is going again.
no, you're
I
TALORX
sneak
taking
out
his
of
ball and go
parties.
home.
Last time I did stay late, so it
You
balances
did,
out.
and also you're on the East Coast, and I'm on the West Coast. So I have
Oh,
the
yeah.
privilege. I have the privilege of like extra hours that you don't have.
True.
Basically,
time.
I crash out old man status at equivalent to the same time as you. You know.
Yes, that's fair. That's fair. I live in the time zone and geographic equivalent of like the radical centrist. I'm like kind of like in the middle, and we don't do daylight savings time. We're not.
Oh,
picking
you don't do it
sides.
either. Yeah, we don't
that's
do it
true.
either. Arizona doesn't do it either.
Yeah.
Arizona does not fuck with daylight savings.
It just passed
Take it easy,
nationally.
guys. Take it easy, guys. Don't rebel too hard. Just calm down with the anti-establishmentarianism.
Never.
Arizona and Hawaii are the only states exempted from daylight savings time in the country.
Hell yeah. I'm shocked like Texas didn't be like, well,
I thought they're trying to do something federally.
Yeah,
Like
they
for
want to
all
get rid of
states.
it.
They
I
should.
thought- I thought
That
they
happened
already
in the
passed that.
70s.
I thought they passed
Yeah,
that.
that's what I was saying. I was like, I think it's federally.
They
We
just
should tell them that daylight savings time is a plot from the radical left. And that they'll be like, oh, we got to get rid of that.
Yo, hey, wait. I'm pretty sure I recently read that daylight savings times has Marxist roots.
There
Honestly,
we go.
Ideology. I'm sure
I
of
can
it.
get on Fox News. I just got to
I'm
write an article
connected.
on it.
Yeah, call
Well,
Christopher
now I
Rufo.
love daylight savings time. We need to keep daylight savings time. God damn it, that's it. Daylight savings time fucking stays. Just because Mark said it was so.
I'm pretty sure I saw some like big media outlet write something talking about how daylight savings should stay because I don't remember if it was the West Coast or the East Coast, but it was saying like people don't want to send their kids to school in the dark. That's like a big
That is the
concern.
thing. It not only the problem is how fucking cold it is too. And
Yeah,
when
without
you
the
have
sun.
When you have city schools, they partner with one busing company, and if that busing company, if like the roads haven't been cleared by the time the first route goes, then they can't do any of the routes and they have to cancel school.
Here's the thing though. We're talking about 1 hour, right? So
Yeah.
couldn't they just say, okay, well during this time of year school starts
delay.
at this time, and during this time of year school
Yes.
starts at this time?
Well,
Yeah,
but
they're
then-
essentially doing the same thing right now, anyways. You know.
Your work
Here's-
schedule wouldn't adjust though with it. Though.
Yes, that's what I was gonna
That
say.
might
When
be the
you
issue.
when you have two parents working or a single parent and they have to go to work, but the kid has to stay home.
Or you'd be like us here, at least where I live, and you just suck it the fuck up. Because
Thank
like
you.
at least like where I am,
Bundle up.
like it doesn't get light until like fucking 10 o'clock, and then it gets dark again by like 6 o'clock for
Yeah,
like
good point.
8 months of the year. So
Good
like
point.
fucking turn your headlights on, give your kids one of those fucking little lantern hats if you know.
A minor
Fucking-
hat. Put a little
Up
minor
there.
helmet on him.
I mean, I remember in junior high, even in Arizona, the sun's not up at 6:30, and I had to be out at my cross country training or my cross country practice before 7 o'clock in the morning. You know, so we were out there getting ready, and we were running by like 6:45. Really, we should be running. That's when our practice should have started. And I mean, so. That was
Practice before school was always
I was
rough.
13, you know, so like at 13 I was doing that, and like no harm, no foul. Like maybe that's what do they call that? Survivor's bias, but I don't think the dark hurts people. Like I don't think they're
Two
gonna.
goddamn floodlights.
You know, there's a
yeah.
lot of people that think the dark does hurt people.
Sure, they're called conservatives.
People that believe in spirits.
Yeah,
That's spirit time.
magical thinkers.
Yeah.
Yes. I like the way you speak.
That's because I'm
True.
learning from TALORX's streams about cults.
There you go. Fucking. But yeah, no, it's true. And it all bleeds together. And I think when you can be sold on some crazy,
Yes.
crazy thing like
Yes.
that, and you start believing that magic works in this scenario, well, then why doesn't it work in this one? And you're
Well,
more
and-
easily skewed.
It's not even the magic. It's I allow my brain to jump this gap, so I can allow it to jump this gap too. Like my uncle got scammed for $200,000 in some romance scam.
Oh
And-
no!
every time he might as well be one of those Dr. Phil old ladies.
Oh, shit.
But every time you talk to him, you sit down and you talk to him, and you're like, okay, Jerry, I know you love this girl. When did you meet her in person? And he never met her in person, so he would refuse to answer the question.
Did he buy her an iPhone?
Oh, dude, he bought her everything. He sent her thousands upon thousands of like Amazon gift cards, Apple gift cards. Like the guy's
shit.
He's just dumb. Like
Yeah. Well, I should also, like, when I say magical thinking, I should be more clear in what I'm talking about. Like, I don't just mean, like, kapoo, wow. I mean, like, things that are unfounded and also go counter to what is observed through reality.
Yeah,
When something goes against what is, you know, obvious in reality, as well as being completely unfounded. You know, like, essentially where it's just, like, beyond just, well, that's just, it happened. You know, like, well, that's just why, or... You know, something based on, like, dogma or belief that, you know, goes counter to reality is more to be more precise in that. Which would be, like, that scenario would be, it would be quite a magical thing if all of those things happen to line up in that specific way. But I think that it's more likely, like, through, like, an Occam's razor-y kind of view, like, it's more likely you're being scammed than that this is actually the 1 in 14 billion chance that this scenario somehow... I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
So
I know like an older lady that like sometimes watched me when I was a kid. She like her husband died, she was a widow, and somebody was sending her thousands and thousands of dollars of merchandise, like buying it with other people's credit cards. And yeah, like she got charged with a felony for aiding and abetting.
Used as like a mule kind of, or like
Yeah.
a shipping point. Yeah, that's
Like,
a big thing.
And I was like, damn, like, it's kind of wild. It's kind of the same way with, like, religion or any sort of, like, cult behaviors. They seek out people that are in their weakest moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, so that I was just going to Talorx, before you go, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think we've finally reached a time where it's appropriate for us to actually attack Christianity instead of, like, passively mock it? Like, is it time to point out how ridiculous it is that they're using a book over proof and getting away with it? Like, have we reached this point?
Yes and no. I think that it's very important to separate Christianity from the Christian. I also think it's important to say, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to change individuals' minds, or are we trying to stop these fuckers from putting their religion into politics and making there no separation between church and state and using, you know, religion to pass legislation? I think are different things. Different tactics are needed if you're pushing like on a more like
Micro,
like
macro.
Yes, exactly. Like if I'm talking to my family, you know, trying to help them see how, you know, maybe they're a little whack on this, I'm going to use different tactics, and I'm going to be pushing back against, you know, these fundamentalist Christian hacks and shit that run and lobby the government and all that shit, you know?
Right.
That shit, I do think that we should be very much, like, open and upfront about what the issue is here. And it should be mocked. That being said, though, that can also push people deeper into their persecution complex. And if anybody wants to be persecuted, it's Christians. And they will come so goddamn hard if you start persecuting too hard.
Okay, so then...
And I don't think that anyone should be persecuted for their religion. I think that, last thing I'll say here, is that I don't think that we should fight back against an individual religion. We should fight back against acts that are being justified by religion that are unjustifiable and immoral.
Okay, so
Correct.
From what you just said, the way to structure the communication is, I don't have a problem with religion. I have a problem with the systemic predation of children and the endless sums of millions upon millions, hundreds of millions that have gone from the church to people for their abuse, and that this system continues to get hidden and not talked about. I don't have a problem with your religion. I have a problem with that.
Well, yeah, and yeah, exactly. And I would say essentially it's more the idea of, I have an issue with the negative effects that are very easily washed away, apologized. Like, I mean, like from an apologia perspective, not like in a Christian apologism fucking way, not like, oh, I'm sorry apology. I think that it is wrong and immoral that religion allows people to so easily wash away horrible, unjust things, and that they use it as a way to just say, oh, no, that's just how it is. Darn. And I think once we attack and see that, like, there's serious issues here and that religion is being used to, or that belief, whatever it may be, generally religion in this case, is being used as a, oh, no, it's okay, it can be justified, washed away, it can be, you know, God said it's okay, so it's fine. That's the issue, is the belief that harms others. That's where the issue lies, and I think that's where that separation needs to be. And it's a fine line. It's a fine line, because you don't want to persecute a religion. That's wrong.
Well, I'm trying to counteract the absolute, like, increase of triggering and violence evoking words like groomer, predator, that are being thrown at everybody that is like a teacher now is a predator, an indoctrinator, a groomer, and I'm trying to be able to, in that conversation, counteract that with.
Yeah. So.
Go ahead.
I don't have much time, and this is a whole stream in itself. But that being said, what I will say is what we need to do, and what I do think is okay to do, is I don't think that we should fucking target individual religions or individual religious people, but what we should do is we should have very clear lines in the sand. I don't think that any church should be tax-free. That being said, if we find that your church is openly spreading political messages, I don't care if they're far left. I don't care. Any political message, you bet your fucking ass we will charge you every fucking penny owed, as if that is earned income for the past 10 fucking years up until this moment, and we will fucking financially bankrupt this church or do whatever is needed to ensure that you are not spreading political messages from the pulpit in a tax-free manner. That is the type of thing that I would be okay with, because there's certain actions that are, you do not cross this line. You do not cross this line. You start talking about Roe v. Wade from the pulpit, cut it out. It's out. You start saying that this political candidate, I don't care if it's fucking Bernie, I don't care who it is, if it's fucking Trump. Oh, well, this goddamn political instant. Bang. No. We got it on fucking video. You're streaming this shit to YouTube.
Yep.
Fucking some of the biggest political influencers right now are from the fucking pulpit. And that's what needs to be shut down and penalized heavily. Well, I don't care if it's an Islamic pulpit, a Christian pulpit, a whatever the pulpit may be. It's political and tax-free. Get the fuck
I have more questions, but we'll do a stream on it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you should come on.
It's a whole multi-hour.
You should come on maybe Tuesday or Wednesday this week if you want, Telorx, and we could talk about that.
Yeah, I would love to have a chat, because it's a very interesting conversation, and there's a lot of like nuance and shit that like can be like misconstrued if not like talked about thoroughly enough. And I don't want to rush that too much and say something that is, you know,
agreed.
Sounds like we need to ban Christianity because Jesus Christ, no, we do not need to do that. I'm an anti-theist. I believe that fucking religion is a net negative to society. But I 1000% believe in freedom of religion. But that also includes freedom from religion. And a clear boundary between church and state. But yes, that's kind of what I'll leave that on.
Word.
I gotta get going, but yes, I loved being here. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful time.
Thanks for coming in. Where can we find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/TALORXLIVE. It is spelt right there under my beautiful boy Newton.
All right, rock and roll, brother. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Good seeing y'all.
Good night.
Have a
nice meeting you.
Bye. Yes, nice meeting you. Bye.
Peace out.
Yo, Jason, I actually also need to take off. I ordered food and it's here, and I need to eat it.
Very good.
Essential.
Yeah. But this was a great time. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to plug yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm twitch.tv/LNRDI. I stream in the mornings usually, about 9 or 10 a.m. I play games morning to early afternoon, do React content. Just kind of hang out, and I'm like a lefty dude, kind of like a theory head anarchist who likes to debate people about shit. So if anyone ever wants to have a convo about politics, I like doing those.
Fucking rock and roll, man. Thank you very much.
All
Thank you for coming on.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Nice to meet all of you.